going on, everyone? Welcome into the Better Sports Betting Show on Fantasy Alarm, Better Sports Network YouTubes today on a Friday. One of the last football Fridays that we got on this show, but we're making it count. Got Howard Bender with me as he's been all through the season on these Friday shows and talking some AFC Championship, some NFC Championship, Lions, 49ers, Chiefs, Ravens, some really good games this weekend that we are going to dive into. Bets, props, predictions, all that for both of these games. If you have any of your own bets, props, predictions you want to throw at us, hit us up in the chat here as we're watching along, because we love the picks that you guys throw at us, feedback on some of our leans or picks that we give out. So, and like and subscribe as well on Fantasy Alarm YouTube, Better Sports Network YouTube. Howard, how are you doing? Ready for some football talk on this Friday, man?
Yeah, listen, I'm psyched to do it. I'm psyched for these conference championship games. I think both games, should be relatively good. There's a lot of, question marks. Is Deebo Samuel going to play? And if you've looked at the numbers for, how the 49ers perform, it is not good when they don't have Deebo Samuel in the lineup. So it's a little troublesome there, wondering what's going to happen with him. Again, Pat Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson. That's fantastic stuff. But yeah, you know me, man. I mean, I like betting the games. I'll give some props out that I'm, kind of looking at right now. But, for me, I'm a game bettor, and I really just kind of like to enjoy these games as it is. There's enough nonsense that goes on betting the Super Bowl that I can just kind of pause and relax these. So I'm calling out Mile High Luke. I'm calling out Smokey the Cat.
Mile High Luke in the chat already here.
Well, damn, I want those are the guys I want to tail their props this week. Like that's it's like I'll tail your props, I'll play mine, but when Smokey and Mile High Luke and was it Murgatroyd? Mulroy.
Yeah,
when he comes into the house. That's another one there. Oh, I see Ann Dunn in there. But Ann never talks to me about props. She's always hitting up Jed Piacenti for her prop play. I'm in this chat, this Twitter chat with the Man Smart Woman Smarter League, which is an all women's fantasy football league that I started a while ago and just run it for them. I don't even compete in there. But I'm in the chat as like the overlord, kind of looking in. And I know Piacenti's props are a big favorite of Ann's. Maybe we'll help you out, Ann. Maybe.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you guys watching today to see what our takes are. But yeah, there's a bunch of I know like Coop was just on the air. If you were watching his show, we had him on this show yesterday. He gave out some props. But definitely go check out everyone's takes on this game, because we aren't the end-all, be-all, and we welcome all of your picks in the chat, as I was saying, because you guys throw out winners left and right. Love we got a bunch of people in the chat now on this Friday. Stephen Fegan giving me a shout-out. Love that. I'll try to keep it going this week. We'll see. Angie Hatfield there as well. Let's get going here.
I want to know, by the way, I do want to know how Steven's, how his FFPC team is doing. He won I believe he won the $35 entry, into the FFPC, playoff contest. I want to know where he's at right now. Okay. Where are you at, Steven? Where?
Yeah, let us know in the chat here, Steven. All right, let's start out here with Chiefs Ravens. This is the first game on Sunday, the AFC Championship. Ravens are 3.5-point favorites. Different sports book you look, maybe it's at 4. 44.5 is looking like the total right now. We had some slight weather, concerns maybe, but it looks like it's going to be fine weather-wise. There was some maybe rain in the forecast, but it looks like it's going to be fine if you're looking at that. But for this game, listen, you're giving me the Chiefs as underdogs. I got to take it again. I did this last week. Listen, these are the numbers. And the Ravens are better. X's and O's, they are the better team.
100%. Because so I'm here with you. Your pick is my pick here.
I know. I'm glad you're on my side here for this.
And you're phrasing it the exact same way. I threw an article out on Fantasy Alarm, and I was like, the Ravens look better on paper. Everything points towards them winning this matchup. I too am with you on Chiefs plus 3.5.
Yeah, the Ravens have been the better team all year. That they are the better team.
Mm-hmm.
But this is Mahomes, and this is the Chiefs in the playoffs, and this is Mahomes as an underdog. And if you aren't aware of these numbers, Mahomes as a dog, all right, in his career, playoffs, regular season, 9-1-1 against the spread, 8-3 straight up. Like when you disrespect this Mahomes Chiefs team and Andy Reid, they are getting it done. And this is a team that's been there before in this AFC Championship spot. They've been at home in the past, yes, but this team gets it done. They know what to do. Steve Spagnuolo, I think, is going to have a really good game plan to kind of limit the rushing from Lamar Jackson, take away some of that threat on the ground for the Ravens. And I just cannot fade. This is like an addiction. I just can't quit the Chiefs when they are getting points in a playoff game. I mean, and in 3.5, give me that hook all day because I think it could be a field goal win for the Ravens.
All right. Well, Luke's saying it right there. He thinks it's a sucker because I do. I think that people who understand and who are because I'm looking at the where the public money is, and it's basically split 50-50 right now.
It is. Yeah.
There's no favorite here against the spread. I'm with you on Mahomes as the dog here, but yeah, I mean it is a nerve-wracking bet to make, especially because I think BetMGM's got, if you take the Chiefs plus the points, it's still plus 100 as opposed to a minus 115 if you're taking the Ravens and you're laying down that and you're laying the 3.5. So even Vegas is kind of like, well, so maybe they are kind of tempting us a little bit here with the plus money on taking the points. You get that extra hook, but yeah, dude, I'm still with you. I'm still with you here. Mark Andrews is coming back, and Zay Flowers and his breakout campaign, and Odell Beckham can stretch the field deep, and Gus Edwards, and look at what Justice Hill's doing. Like I could sit here and just a litany of positives for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
But we can also kind of look to the fact that one of the things that they did struggle with throughout the year, and maybe it wasn't this past week against Houston, but they struggle to protect leads. They've their losses, they're like 3 losses this season were all come from behind wins against them. When I saw the Ravens beat the Rams and that, for that survivor pick, right? You remember that one? I was freaking out because I was watching Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua just coming down with these amazing catches, like finding the holes in the zone, beating man coverage. I mean, it's just back and forth. So that's where it's, that's what's kind of sticking out in my mind right now. Mahomes just saying, F it. Rice, Kelce, jamming it in right now. Deep shot to MVS.
Yeah, the pass catchers have been better for the Chiefs down this final stretch of the regular season and now into the playoffs. Like they had their drops, they had their issues, but I feel like the offense has now found something. A little worried about the Pacheco coming in a little banged up from last week, but with him on the ground just running hard, like the fact that they have this balance on offense now that they can trust. And yeah, it's Mahomes has found his trusted guys in Rice and Kelce now, and they're coming up big. We got some.
I was just going to say, that's one of the reasons why I also kind of shy away from the props, because when you look at and it's even with Lamar too, like Lamar's got Zay Flowers and he's got Mark Andrews, and that's going to be the lean, like Rice and Kelce, identifying who the fringe guys are. They're going to pop. That's the tough part. It's a pain in the ass for DFS purposes. For betting purposes too, if you're betting props, is Odell Beckham going to go over his receiving yards? What's the receptions going to look like? Because Vegas is obviously much more well in tune with like props for Kelce and Rice for the featured guys.
Yeah,
that you're really going to make your money either betting the game or like really finding some of these like intriguing side props that maybe not the general world isn't on.
And yesterday we had Andrew Cooper on this show, and he gave out a couple of those kind of under the radar props that I loved. He went
Gray.
No. Zay Flowers. He went with Zay Flowers under receiving yards because he was saying he thinks L'Jarius Sneed for the Chiefs is going to be pretty much on Flowers and try to take him away. And he also went with Odell Beckham over his longest reception, thinking he'll at least catch one longer pass in the game if Snead isn't on Beckham. If there's some things open downfield, and Beckham is kind of their deep threat in the offense this year. So yeah, he gave out a couple of those, but I'm with you with Andrews coming back too for the Ravens. It's like just staying away from any props with Isaiah Likely and Andrews.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough to read. Lamar's rushing yards, you want to take that over because it's kind of low, compared to what he just did last week and what he can do. But I do think the Chiefs are going to, Steve Spagnuolo is going to try to really just take the ball out of his hands as a runner, make, on the RPOs and all that, make him either, throw it on the pass or hand it off to Justice Hill, Gus Edwards. Like, don't let Lamar break off these long runs. I just feel like that's going to be some of the game plan for the Chiefs on defense.
Yeah, I agree. They started off the game last week with Willie Gay as a spy on Josh Allen. He got hurt. They kept trying to mix a guy in there to spy. So I kind of feel like Spags will want to do that with Lamar here as well. So we're both on the Chiefs plus the points. Do you have a pick for the over under?
I was going to stay away from the over under. If I had a lean, I might go over. But honestly, I went through a lot of game flows, game plans for what the game could be like, and I could see it honestly going either way. So I was staying away from the over under. But I know you have a lean. You have a pick here on the total.
I do. I'm just gonna take the over on this one because I do. You're dealing with two very strong defenses. Right, the Chiefs' pass defense is 5th best overall according to DVOA. The Ravens, number 1 ranked defense. So I think that a lot of people are going to think that it's going to be like that. But once these two teams, and we've seen them both, kind of, you don't have to get explosive. But who's to say that with 1:30 to go in the game and the Ravens are up 21-20, that Pat Mahomes doesn't go whoop downfield, throws that touchdown pass. All of a sudden, it's 27-21 for the Chiefs. They win outright. They obviously don't need the points on there, but it ticks on the over. It's just 44.5 seems low for these two offenses. This isn't like a 17-10 game.
Yeah, and I'm with you. And the fact that I said, the weather isn't going to be bad. This isn't going to be – it's gotten warmer. I'm in the Baltimore area here, down in the DMV area, and it's warmer today. Today we got 70-degree weather. It's going to get a little chillier by Sunday, but it's not these frigid temperatures that we've seen last weekend, the weekend before. So I think it's going to be a little slightly over to the over there. So I'm glad you're on that too. All right, we got a lot of questions and comments here in the chat. Mile High Luke's got a lot of thoughts on the Chiefs defense against the Ravens. He's saying take the under on Baltimore wide receiver props. Thinks it's going to be rushing and potentially tight ends for the Ravens. Chiefs are going to play way more around the line of scrimmage against Baltimore than how they played against Josh Allen. I agree with that one a lot because I think last week, they respected the Bills passing game and Allen as a thrower a lot more. And you saw Josh Allen take off. That's why he had a lot of success on the ground. But I feel like Lamar, he's gotten he's improved as a passer. He's gotten better. But I feel like the Chiefs are going to make him prove it in this spot, especially if it's, if the Chiefs have a lead and they're forcing the Ravens to pass more. That's a potentially, real scenario in this game. So I just feel like they're going to really try to take away Lamar's legs in this one. Props for us for this game. What do you got as one of your picks for this?
I'm just gonna go real simple, real easy going here for myself. That's Patrick Mahomes over 1.5 passing touchdowns. It's minus 125 on BetMGM. Again, as much as I love Isaiah Pacheco, him running the football against this Ravens defense is going to be tough. So, maybe a passing touchdown to Isaiah Pacheco. I don't know. Either way, Mahomes gets the job done here this week. He throws multiple touchdown passes. Yay, Pat Mahomes. I love him, Servo. I absolutely do.
Listen, 1.5 as the passing touchdown line is really low for Mahomes.
Right? I mean, and minus 125 is not a lot of juice on that either.
Not bad. Yeah. I do think down near the goal line in the red zone, like they're going to be looking to keep the ball in Mahomes' hands and let him do it.
Yeah.
All right. One of my picks, this is one we both went to last week, and it just missed. Travis Kelce had 5 catches, just missed the 5.5 to go over. But I'm going back to it. Give me Kelce over receptions, 5.5. What's this?
You getting fish hooked?
Listen,
could possibly go under again, could he?
No, because his playoff record. Listen, I gave this stat out last week, and it has to be reiterated because obviously we all know Kelce's a stud. He's a beast. He's the guy in this Chiefs offense. In the playoffs, it just really comes to the forefront. He's averaging since 2018. He's averaging 7 catches per game in the playoffs. And he's had at least 6 catches in 12 of the last 16 playoff games. Multiple, double-digit receptions. Usually he's got like 8, 9, 10. I just think this line is still a little low. I know the Ravens are good against tight ends, but I just think that Mahomes is going to be leaning heavily on Kelce and Rashee Rice when he's throwing it. Those are his clear 2 trusted guys. And especially with the Chiefs, their O-line situation. So Joe Tooney's out. He got hurt last week. He's ruled out on their O-line. Pacheco, as I said, kind of coming in banged up. Trey Smith, another O-lineman for them, dealing with an illness this week. Looks like he's going to play, but, kind of an interesting situation there. So the fact that the O-line isn't as strong, maybe the run game isn't working as much, I just feel like it's going to be a lot more trying to, throw these shorter completions and quick throws to Kelce, Rice, instead of trying to if they can't pound the run like they have been with Pacheco, it's just going to be like these quick throws to Kelce, as we've seen, kind of as their de facto run game, if you will. So I'm going Travis Kelce over on his receptions here. Fezzy Mac looks like he's not on our side here. Welcome to Blowout City. Chiefs plus 3.5 is the sucker bet. Listen, we said it, but when we went live here, we said the Ravens are the better team, but I don't know.
I mean, again, it's one of those things. I mean, and it's kind of funny. I mean, if it really is a sucker bet, why is the public money so split? Like, I can't imagine that half the world. But I mean, again, it doesn't. For me, I like to go against the grain and. You look at certain things that happen. Everything, you're right. Everything points towards the Ravens just overall being the better team.
Yeah,
something that happens to them in the in the second half. We'll see. But I like it, man. I like Fezzy Mac throwing that down there. Mulroyd also was throwing down some, I think, a Lamar prop there as well. 1.5. Yeah, there it is. 1.5 passing touchdowns over for Lamar. 1 to Andrews are likely. The Aguilar one, right? How dirty is that? I was just doing the DFS write-up over at fantasyalarm.com. And I was like, shit, I got to put Aguilar like a little higher up here. Because even though he doesn't play the same amount of snaps that Rashad Bateman plays, he out-targets him. And he's got, 2 touchdowns in his last 3 games right now. So, yeah.
How about Aguilar anytime touchdown on BetMGM plus 500?
I might want to sprinkle a little something
sprinkle in there. You can get plus 3,000 for the first touchdown score if you want on Aguilar too.
Well, I'm not going to push it. Now I'll leave that for John and Pemba. And Pemba can make that bet. Not me. I'm not going to let him bully me.
The other prop I'll throw out here that I like in this game is Justice Hill over 49.5 combined rushing and receiving yards. As I was saying, I just think that the Chiefs are really going to try to limit Lamar on the ground and force other guys to beat them, especially in the run game on these RPOs. I feel like it's going to be him handing the ball off to Hill. And, last week we saw Justice Hill out-snap Gus Edwards. Yeah. Maybe that was partly in the second half with the lead, but he had 66 rushing yards, 77 total yards in the game, 15 touches for him. And now going back last 3 games, taking out week 18 when Baltimore rested some guys, the last 3 games, he's had at least 50 total yards in 3 straight now. Chiefs have, top 5 pass defense. They're much stronger against the pass. And they've had some issues, allowing some decent games, some better games on the ground, but also as a pass catching back coming out of the backfield. So I feel like Justice Hill is going to be involved a lot here, either as a receiver out of the backfield or as a runner, as the more explosive guy than Gus Edwards in this backfield. So give me the over on Justice Hill's combined yards in this one.
Yeah, I definitely like that one, especially because of the fact that he out-touched and he out-snapped Gus Edwards. I might still sprinkle a little something on Gus Edwards at plus 140 for the anytime touchdown, because he does still handle the goal line work and the short yardage work.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hill has definitely been a little bit more involved, a little bit more flexibility with him, for sure. So yeah, I can dig that.
And Mile High Luke also throwing out here that Aguilar could be the guy. He is the third guy. Won't see much Snead or McDuffie. It's very true. If we got Snead and McDuffie,
I know it's horrible though. It's
on Flowers and Odell kind of taking them out, then we got I don't even who would be covering Aguilar out of the slot. So yeah. That's Howard's thoughts on the Aguilar props this weekend.
I hate using him as a dart throw in DFS. Like, I won't ever put money on Aguilar, but I gotta use him as a dart throw in DFS.
Yeah. There's Andrew Cooper here in the chat popping in. Said, the downside is that you have to root for Aguilar. Listen, if anybody out there is an Eagles fan, we know our feelings about Nelson Aguilar, how he was dropping passes left and right. There was the famous meme of there was did you see the meme of the video that went viral of the fire, and the guy was like, we was catching babies, unlike Aguilar. So there's that whole thing. But he's popped this year with the Ravens, so shout out to him. All right, so that is Chiefs Ravens. We're gonna move now to Lions 49ers. Before that, just wanted to mention that we have a Better Edge contest rolling this weekend.
Oh, so yeah.
Get in on this. Fantasy Alarm teaming up with Better Edge on a prop pick'em contest for the NFL Conference Championships games on Sunday. You can scan that QR code, but it's free to play. You could win a signed Josh Allen Buffalo Bills jersey if you win this contest. So all you have to do, you make 15 picks for what you think is going to happen. I think it's a range of a bunch of options, but you just make 15 picks. You score the most points and you win. So you get promo code ALARM when signing up at fantasyalarm.com/jersey. Scan that QR code, download the Better Edge app, or go to betteredge.com. This is Josh Allen signed Buffalo Bills jersey. It's an awesome prize.
So it's an awesome prize. So this contest, so it's a Fantasy Alarm contest, like using Better Edge as our platform. So I think you can also, if you don't scan QR codes, you can go to fantasyalarm.com/jersey and sign up for it there as well. And we just did this. So there's like 20 people in the contest. I think Coop was talking about that on his show. There are only like 19 or 20 people in there. So your chances significantly good. I mean, yes, we're gonna obviously promote this contest, but get in on it right now, 100% free. And I know that Colby Conway does a lot of stuff with Better Edge, or he was during the football season. So with baseball coming up, we're going to be jumping in with a lot of stuff for Better Edge. So get in right now, get your account set up, sign up for this contest, play for free, lose the jersey to me because I'm going to win. Oh, I'm not eligible. Son of a bitch. I'm going to play anyway just so I can defer it to whoever comes in second place. But
there you go. Yeah, the Better Edge was awesome for college football through the season. We, on this show, we ran a college football totals competition over at Better Edge where you just pick the over-under on, any game that's happening on Saturdays throughout the college football season. And that was fun to see. Just, I won like maybe once or twice during the week, but there was people winning left and right. It was pretty cool. So, jump in on that. fantasyalarm.com/
free.
Free to enter. All right, Lions 49ers NFC championship game. 49ers 7-point favorites, 7.5 if you look at some other sports books. 51.5 is the total. Where are you going with this game?
I'm taking the Lions and the points, actually. I think we'll see. Let me qualify that. How about that? I'll take the Lions and the points right now. If Deebo Samuel practices today and he goes through the motions tomorrow as well, and he is playing, I might rethink it. Mm-hmm. But I do think that, the numbers are just stupid. I think San Francisco is like 1-7 straight up in games that Deebo doesn't finish or start, like doesn't start or finish. I think that's what it is. And so, it's just that he's such a linchpin. And while, yes, last week they relied on Juwan Jennings to play that Deebo Samuel role, I think they're going to end up going back to trying to utilize Aiyuk. George Kittle, they want to get heavily involved. But, I just, there's the vibe with this Detroit Lions team. I know that it's a great run defense, so they're going to have to fight hard to stop McCaffrey, really force Brock Purdy into some bad throws. They need that pass rush to be effective. I just think that Dan Campbell's got his guys just so fired up right now that I think that, even if San Francisco wins this game, I think Detroit keeps it close enough that, they do it. I think it's minus 115 to take Lions +7. They've got it up to minus 130 if you want to buy that extra half a point. But I'm not going to buy that extra half point. I'm just going to sit with it right now. Because, again, I think that the Niners can win this game, but I just don't think they blow them out.
Yeah, so Deebo Samuel practiced yesterday. We'll see, if he ends up being active, what his involvement in practice is today. But, he was limited yesterday in practice, but he was out there. So just worth, obviously monitoring because, as you said, so here are some numbers this year. There's some different numbers from past years, but this season, when Deebo Samuel has started and finished a game, 49ers are 12-1 straight up, 10-3 against the spread. When he doesn't play or finish a game for the 49ers, 0-5 against the spread, 1-4 straight up this year. So yeah, that is pretty stark contrast between when he plays and when he plays the whole game versus when he doesn't. So take that for what you will as you monitor Samuel's status. I kind of get the vibe you will play because practicing yesterday, I saw some videos of just being tweeted out that he was moving around, he was in good spirits. Feel like he's gonna try to play in this game, but we'll see. I am going 49ers in this though, and I'll grab the -7. I do think if or when Samuel is, we know that he's playing for sure when he's active. I think this moves up to 7.5, maybe goes up even further, but I feel like getting the -7 now is what I want to do. I see the Lions as a team like I've been really high on them, just like the past few weeks of how before the playoffs of just how they entered in, just thinking that I wanted to bet them live, especially if in a situation like this, as we get them as underdogs. But these past couple games in the playoffs, I saw them barely survive against the Rams. I saw them beat a Bucs team by just a touchdown. They let the Bucs hang around, even though they had a double-digit lead at one point. I just feel like they're kind of skated by, and now they're going up against this 49ers team that they did get pushed by the Packers. They survived. They had to survive last week against the Packers. But I kind of also chalk that up more to facing a red-hot Packers team that came in with Jordan Love and the offense really clicking. And the 49ers basically being off for 2 weeks before that. They rested their starters in week 18, had the bye. I feel like it took, that game, one game to kind of get back into the flow of what they are. And what they are is a dominant team. And when Deebo's playing, the offense is fully functional, but the defense is still legit, still elite. They've been 49ers are an elite run defense, which I think will make the Lions a little bit more one-dimensional in this game if they are just shutting down, Gibbs and Montgomery in the ground, forcing, keying again on Goff, maybe forcing a couple of turnovers that way. And Goff's a guy that's, you look back at his numbers, he tends to play a little bit worse on the road, tends to play a little bit worse outside, outside of domes. So, I'm taking the 49ers here minus the 7.
Clear skies, no wind, no precipitation. We're looking good out here. I've been studying the weather. I'm here in the Bay Area. I know what it's like down in Santa Clara right now. So,
okay.
I don't know. I mean, I know it's not the controlled environment that we like at like Ford Field. But it's actually, weather's not going to be an issue out here in San Francisco this weekend, which is kind of a breath of fresh air for Bay Area football in January, because it usually sucks.
No rain in the forecast.
Which is surprising, because it's been raining, I'd say probably like 8 out of the last 9 days here. I've been dealing with like creek flooding and all the other shit that goes along with that, but it's supposed to stave off. Not to mention the fact that, Santa Clara, it's not like right there on the water. So, I mean, there's, you're not worried about a lot of like, mist or anything like that, offshore winds and stuff.
When it comes to the total in this one, 51.5, you have a lean on a total here, right?
I'm just going to take the over in this one. And the under, I'm sorry, the under. It's 51.5. I like this game, right? I like it to be close, but I don't see it being too high scoring. Like, again, San Francisco's got a phenomenal defense. Lions have a fantastic run defense. They struggle through the air. I just don't necessarily know if the 49ers kind of blow them out. I was thinking about looking at this as like a 27-24 type game, which ticks right on the under.
Yeah, I can see it's being similar, but just the spread has to be in the 49ers' favor at least. So maybe 27-20 or 20. Yeah, I'm trying to think. 28-20. How about that?
Sorry, no can do, Bubba.
No can do. All right.
No can do.
All right, props in this one. One of my picks I like, and this honestly, whether or not Debo plays, I still like this. Brandon Aiyuk over 80.5 receiving yards. If Debo plays, it kind of helps it more because more tension will be on Debo. The offense will be kind of back into the rhythm. But if he doesn't, I feel like Aiyuk has to be fed more targets. But just in general, I see this matchup against the Lions, where the Lions' pass defense has been struggling all year. It is their weakness. And they've gotten torched by wide receiver ones over the past few weeks here. Last week, we saw Mike Evans, 8 for 147. Week before that, Puka, 9 for 181. 192 to Justin Jefferson the week before that. CeeDee Lamb, 227. Jefferson, 141 before that. Over the past 11 games, Lions against opposing leading wideouts, average of 137 receiving yards to those top guys, and 9 of the past 11 have had at least 95 plus receiving yards. Aiyuk, even though when Debo Samuel is playing, Aiyuk is the wide receiver one in this on the outside, and he had a quiet game last week, only 32 yards on 3 catches, but I think he gets back to having a better game here. He ended the regular season with 100 plus yards in 3 of the last 4 games. So yeah, give me Brandon Aiyuk over 80.5. Also, I'm not betting it, but I will, suggest if, last week I threw out Mike Evans, and on the side, I did a ladder. And yesterday I was talking with Andrew Cooper. He was talking about maybe doing a ladder for props for yards for George Kittle. And, I did it for Mike Evans last week. Consider the Brandon Aiyuk ladder in this one, because right now at BetMGM, you can bet his 100 plus yards for plus 165, and you can bet 125 or more yards for plus 380. So, compared to what the yardage totals that they've done and allowed against top receivers, I think it could be in the card for a big Brandon Aiyuk game.
The one thing that kind of concerns me with this, and this is, just me playing devil's advocate, is last week, no Debo because of the injury, and because their game plan was the way it was, they really, like, Jawan Jennings actually ended up in that Debo Samuel role, and he saw significant work, and Aiyuk really didn't have the game that you wanted. So, if Debo is playing this week, if he comes in, are they scheming in the same fashion? Are they going to use, a heavy lean on Debo, or will this be the game that they go to Aiyuk and Kittle because, they're not sure about Debo's health, and if he gets hit in the shoulder, how quickly could he get knocked out? They said there's no fracture there, but we haven't heard anything about the ligaments and, the labrum, the rotator cuff, what's going on in that situation. Yeah. So, I think that, what I like about this is that I'm a believer in Aiyuk. What makes me nervous is if they do scheme in that fashion and Debo, let's say he plays like half the game, a quarter of the game, a third of the game, and they have to turn around and they start to increase Juwan Jennings. So I would look at Juwan Jennings' numbers as well. Whether Debo's in or out, I mean, obviously, if Debo's out, Jennings' numbers will be significantly higher, which is why this is like a bet it now for Aiyuk at 80.5.
Yeah.
But, I would definitely just kind of keep an eye on that. I would.
Yeah. Very good point. Yeah. If Debo's out, I would also look at Juwan Jennings props because he could, he'll definitely see more targets, more snaps, more involvement. All right. Prop for you. Where are you going?
I'm just going to go with the clean and dirty, quick and dirty. George Kittle anytime touchdown. Kittle gets into the box. Whether Debo's playing or not playing, I mean, he's going to be banged up anyway, which is why somebody just posted in the chat that they were going to avoid the Debo props, and I'm kind of on that front there. I just think Kittle, the Lions, out of all the teams that are remaining, the Lions are the worst against the tight end. I think they gave up like the 10th or 11th most fantasy points per game to the tight end position this year. So I'm just gonna say that Debo banged up, George Kittle finds his way into the end zone there. So plus 115. I'd throw a unit on that.
Yeah, I could definitely see him scoring. All right, my last pick is David Montgomery under 42.5 rushing yards.
Yeah.
So the way the game flow, I kind of see this going. If the Lions are playing from behind, obviously they won't be running it as much. But San Fran is really good, like interior defense. And we just saw they've been good against the run. They're an elite rush defense overall this year, third fewest in the league per game to rushing yards. But we just saw Montgomery struggle last week against a good run defense in Tampa Bay. Only at 33 rushing yards last week. And I have, I know Aaron Jones, he did just have 100+ yards against the Packers for the Packers against the 49ers last week. But I just think that's an anomaly. And you saw what he did. They had a lot of success running outside against this 49ers defense. Running inside with Montgomery, which is where he is between the tackles, I don't think is going to be really good for them. Running outside, though, that's Jahmyr Gibbs. And, you can look at Jahmyr Gibbs props for this. I considered some because he's the more explosive outside runner and, outside zone against this 49ers defense. But between the tackles, they're shutting guys down. And that's Montgomery's, where he lives. Lead running backs versus the 49ers this year averaged only 45 rushing yards per game. And 7 of the last 8 have been held under 50 yards before last week against Aaron Jones. So, this is a number that is low for Montgomery, 42.5, but I'm still taking the under.
Oh, working in your favor. Also, left guard Jonah Jackson is doubtful for this game. He's unlikely to play. Frank Ragnow, questionable to play the center. But we know that he's been dealing with a knee and an ankle issue, and he left, we saw him. We saw, how he came in and he got that, that last block in for a touchdown last week, and and limping off the field and everything. So I agree with you. I think that it's working against like running in between the tackles against them. And again, when you've got that kind of a pass rush, with Nick Bosa and Chase Young on the other side. When you're dealing with that also, the outside zone runs work. I also like a couple of dump off passes. I'm debating whether or not to take, I think Jahmyr Gibbs, I think it was like 3.5 was his receptions. I was looking for it to see if it was going to be 2.5, and I was thinking about dropping a unit in on that and seeing where is it?
3.5, yeah.
Yeah, it's 3.5. So they so it's up a little bit, which
minus 105 on BetMGM to the over.
Yeah, it just doesn't agree with me really. I mean, 4 catches. I mean, he should.
He's gotten
They definitely should do that.
He's gotten 4 catches in the past 2 games here in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I agree with you though. I think I looked at Jahmyr Gibbs' combined rushing and receiving too, because I think on those outside runs, but also some quick passes to Gibbs out of the backfield, I do think he's going to be just a bigger factor for the Lions offensively than David Montgomery in this game. Not around the goal line. That's last week, by the way.
Even around the goal line.
I threw out David Montgomery's anytime touchdown, and he got vultured by Craig Reynolds, of all people. Gibbs also had a rushing score, but
that was the worst.
Seeing Craig Reynolds running a touchdown when I was like, this should be David Montgomery. What is happening? Doghouse Riley in the chat here says he loves the over in this game. You were on the under, but Doghouse Riley loves the over in Lions 49ers.
I mean, listen, it's 2 offenses who can score, but yeah. Again, I kind of I think it's like super close. Like I said, 27-24.
Yeah.
If it ends up like that, if the Niners win 27-24 in this one, I'll enjoy my under.
If Debo plays and we get official word that he is playing, we could see the total rise a point or two as well. So keep an eye on that. If you are on the under or if you're looking for the over, maybe you want to wait either way. So yeah, to keep an eye, obviously the Deebo Samuel injury is the big one for both teams and for all 4 teams in this NFL Conference Championship weekend to kind of pay attention to. Real quick before we end here, looking at futures, for the Super Bowl, kind of look ahead before this weekend. If you think, either team's going to win, looking at exact Super Bowl results, you've seen them kind of scrolling on the bottom here as we've gone along. Any that you're looking to pick right now, because we both have the Chiefs in this one. I think, I like the Chiefs against the spread, but I think they're very live to win the game outright. You can look at if you think it's going to be Chiefs 49ers or you like the Lions plus the 7. If you think they might win this, you're looking at Chiefs over the Lions because that one, if you wanted to bet that right now, exact Super Bowl result, Chiefs over Lions, the 2 underdogs this weekend, plus 1,800 on BetMGM, plus 2,300 if you want the Lions to beat the Chiefs. If you want to look there,
yeah, no.
That stayed away from that one.
I mean, these aren't bets that I like to make. These aren't bets that I want to make, and so I don't want to recommend it to anybody. I mean, you do you, not you, Servo, but you, the general public. There, you do you, and you bet however you like to bet. It's your money. But worrying right now here about exact Super Bowl results, it's not. It doesn't move the needle enough for me. I put enough in on the games themselves that. I don't need to. I think we talked last week, right? Last week, weren't the Chiefs? Oh, it's Caesars. They're plus 440 to win the Super Bowl. I think they were plus 350 last week.
Yeah, it's gone down. It's gone up in odds. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll let you guys all do you on those kind of bets there. I'll have a whole mess of Super Bowl bets for you guys when the time is right. All right, we got 2 weeks. Long weeks after the conference championship. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
On Fantasy Alarm right now, you have full breakdowns, DFS kind of focused, but game previews, really detailed for both these games on Fantasy Alarm. Get the All-Pro subscription to check out all of Howard's breakdowns for these. We on Fantasy Alarm, we got tons of stuff for every sport, but for this conference championship weekend, you want to get Howard's full breakdowns, especially if you're playing DFS. So yeah, scan that QR code right there, fantasyalarm.com/win to get the All-Pro subscription if you haven't already at Fantasy Alarm. That's about it for us, but we appreciate everyone tuning in, all the comments in the chat that's been going on this whole show. It's been awesome to see. Howard, Good luck with all your bets. We're both on the Chiefs. Let's go Chiefs, right?
Go Chiefs, baby. Come on, Chiefs Kingdom. We love you. We love you.
All right. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Good luck with all your own bets. Coming up today, 5 p.m. Eastern, as always, NBA DFS live show with John and Pemba and James Grande. So stay tuned for that to talk some NBA with those guys tonight on Fantasy Alarm, Better Sports Network. Good luck this weekend. We'll see you guys later. And thanks for everyone for watching in. Later.